Coming up for ideas for your Warhammer bases can be quite tricky, but where do you start? What materials do you use? And where can you get them from? This is where I come in. In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything you're going to need to become a basing god. So, without further ado, let's start with the first material, cork. Cork can be found from many shops and online stores for varying prices, but I find that Amazon have the best options for what you'll need. Cork is perfect for miniature basing because you can tear it apart easily, and it will make for great looking uneven ground, rocks, and like boulder-like surfaces. Next on my list is grass tufts. Grass tufts can come in varying colors and clump size, and the best thing is you don't need expensive brands for them to look good. I've found great quality and low price grass tuft packs on Temu. Every Warhammer enthusiast should have a couple packs of grass tufts in their collection as a staple for their bases because they just look awesome. Material 3 is coconut fiber. This stuff is great for all natural base designs, whether that be for dirt, forest floors, or just for adding texture to your bases. Next is wooden drink stirrers. The best thing is wooden drink stirrers are free. Well, kind of. Whenever I go to a coffee shop, I'll grab a handful of them every time and just add them to my collection. You can use these for wooden planks and other wooden features on your bases. Just don't get caught taking handfuls of them, otherwise you might get banned from your local Starbucks. And us caffeine addicts don't want that now, do we? Next up, we have small pebbles and small bits of slate, or just slate in general, that you can crack up into make into smaller bits of pebbles. Now, yes, you can buy these, but I find that sometimes going out for walks and searching in nature and other environments is the best way to acquire rocks and pebbles. You don't want to be bringing home boulders because that's just not practical and they will be too heavy. But once again, this is a free basic material and you can find these types of rocks everywhere. Just be careful that you're not ripping up your next door neighbor's garden for the sake of a couple rocks. It's not worth a trip to the police station. Stealing is bad. On to another item. Tea leaves. Tea leaves are great for basing due to their natural ground appearance. They literally look like soil or even dead leaves. Plus, tea leaves looks perfect for forest bases. Just don't raid your nan's tea bag jar. I don't think she'll appreciate that very much. Just quickly, guys, if I'm giving you any value from this video, why not drop me a like or even consider subscribing to the channel? Thanks. Another free material, sand. Do not buy sand from anywhere. We literally live on a planet with an abundance of sand. You can find sand pretty easily if you know where to look, like a beach, for example. I'm also fairly sure you can ask for sand samples from most building material suppliers free of charge. Just make sure that you either microwave or oven bake the sand when you source it naturally, as sand can harbor germs, bugs, and worst of all, urine. You don't want urine on your miniatures. Not advised. At all. Another free great material is gravel. Again, sourcing gravel from natural environments is fairly easy if you know where to look. Most paths use gravel in the UK and so do some roads. Just make sure that when you do get this stuff, you take it back home, microwave it or oven bake it for around about 30 seconds to a minute just to kill off any bugs or bacteria in the gravel, because once again, you don't want them crawling all over your minis. Another great free material is dead roots from any uprooted trees that you can see in natural parks or from dead plants just kind of here, there and everywhere. Roots from dead trees and other uprooted plants are great for like trees that you can put on your model, or say model, you can put on your bases to make them look like small trees that are dead, which could be good for pretty much every single army in the Warhammer franchise, because we're fighting on literally desolate lands where trees have been burnt to a cinder, which you can paint your trees to look like a burnt cinder as well, which is pretty cool. But I think that actually finding some uprooted trees, whether you go to a national park, whether you go to just a generic park where there's a tree that's fallen down, you can actually find pretty good amounts of these dead plants and dead trees with their roots up. And the best thing is, where they're dead, the roots will actually be very brittle, so you can snap some off, collect them, put them in a bag, take them home, and then you can arrange them in certain ways that look like actual fallen trees or dead trees, or just trees that you can then add. Oh my god, I'm hitting the microphone. That you can then add sort of like things like this. You can find these in most hobby stores or online, and it's just like foliage kind of stuff. It's like foliage tufts that you can basically put and glue onto the trees to make natural looking trees, whereas buying trees from other places that sell miniature trees for your bases, first of all, don't really look great, and second of all, they're very expensive. So actually trying to find as many free things that you can have for your hobby will save so much money in the long run. Just don't go into people's gardens and start uprooting plants here and there, because vandalism is a crime and you will be punished. Other materials that I like to use are what I like to call aquarium stones that you can find at most pet shops, and you can get literally a plethora of colors when it comes to these little things. They come in multiple different sizes, and they're great for adding like a little bit of color differentiation when it comes to the bases of your models. Because say, for example, you've got the Tau. Not a lot is really known about them in the Warhammer 40k universe as of right now. There are some novels about them, but not a lot. And the best thing is you can create with any model, with any army, with any faction you want, you can create your own storyline. So adding things like this could be great, because maybe they live on a planet where certain gemstones are just everywhere. Maybe they're coming out of the ground, like in Call of Duty with the I forget what they're called now. As soon as I start to think about something from another franchise or another gaming sphere, I forget. Why do I do this? The point I'm trying to make is you can add whatever you want to your bases to create your own storyline with your army. In all honesty, you can use whatever you want for your basic materials. It just depends on the story that you're going for your army. Some people also like to use cat litter, cardboard, polystyrene, even sculpting clay to create their own boulders or whatever they want when it comes to actually basing on their miniature. This is your hobby, your army, and your vision, so you should be doing whatever you think will look the best for your miniatures. Good luck and have fun with becoming a basing god. I know you're going to do great. Click on one of these videos here for more Warhammer tips and advice. See you in the next video.